Ever felt betrayed by someone you thought you could trust? Today, we're diving into the 9 types of people you should never trust or respect, and how understanding this can protect your peace of mind. In the words of the great Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius, when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, "The people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they cannot tell good from evil. But I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, and have recognized that the wrongdoer has a nature related to my own, not of the same blood or birth, but the same mind and the same reason, and that I can neither be harmed by any of them, for no one can involve me in wrongdoing, nor can I be angry with my relatives, nor hate them. For we are made for cooperation, like feet, like hands, like eyelids, like the rows of the upper and lower teeth. To be angry with one another is not human. It is against our nature." These powerful words set the stage for our discussion today about trust and deception in our lives. Trust is a delicate thread that we weave with others, but sometimes that thread can fray and break, leaving us feeling betrayed and alone. The Stoics remind us that while we cannot control the actions of others, we can control how we respond to them. By understanding the types of people we should be wary of, we can protect our emotional well-being and maintain our inner peace. Today, we will explore 9 archetypes of individuals who can disrupt our lives, and how recognizing these patterns can help us navigate our relationships more wisely. We all have that one friend who seems to understand us, who listens intently and offers advice that feels tailored just for us. At first glance, they appear to be the epitome of friendship, supportive and caring. However, beneath this facade often lies a more sinister reality: the manipulative friend. This type of person is adept at reading emotions and exploiting them for their own benefit. They may ask probing questions, seemingly out of genuine concern, but their true intention is often to gather information that they can later use to manipulate or control situations to their advantage. It's crucial to recognize the signs of this behavior early on. Do they often turn conversations back to themselves? Are they quick to offer help, but only when it benefits them? These are red flags that indicate they may not have your best interests at heart. By understanding their tactics, you can protect yourself from falling into their traps. Remember, a true friend uplifts you and encourages your growth, while a manipulative friend may only be interested in what they can gain from the relationship. Trust your instincts and be wary of those who seem too good to be true, as their ulterior motives can lead to a cycle of disappointment and betrayal. It's about safeguarding your emotional space and recognizing that not everyone who offers their ear is genuinely there for you. Setting boundaries with manipulative individuals is essential for your mental health and overall well-being. When it comes to navigating our relationships, one of the most detrimental types of people we may encounter is the constant critic. These individuals often present themselves as mentors or friends, claiming to have your best interests at heart. However, their overwhelming focus on critique can do more harm than good. Their words may sting, often cloaked in the guise of constructive feedback, but the impact they have can erode your self-confidence and diminish your sense of self-worth. It's essential to recognize that while feedback can be valuable, it should be balanced with encouragement and support. Constant criticism, on the other hand, is relentless and often feels like an attack rather than a helping hand. Imagine sharing an idea or a project with someone you trust, only to have them pick it apart piece by piece, highlighting every flaw without offering any praise or insight into how you might improve. This kind of interaction can leave you feeling deflated and discouraged. It's crucial to understand that their relentless criticism often stems from their own insecurities. They may feel the need to elevate themselves by putting others down, creating a toxic dynamic that can drain your emotional energy. So how do we deal with the constant critic? First, it's important to set boundaries. You don't have to accept their feedback or engage in conversations that leave you feeling worse about yourself. A firm, respectful response can make it clear that while you appreciate their perspective, you also value constructive dialogue. Second, try to seek out those who uplift and support you. Surrounding yourself with positive influences can help counteract the negative impact of a constant critic. Remember, growth should come from a place of encouragement, not from the harsh lens of relentless criticism. By recognizing this type of person and taking proactive steps to shield yourself from their influence, you can foster an environment that promotes healthy communication and personal growth. When we think about friendships, we often picture deep connections built on trust and shared experiences. However, not all friendships are created equal. The superficially friendly individual is someone who seems warm and engaging on the surface, but lacks the depth needed for a meaningful relationship. They flit from one social circle to another, collecting acquaintances rather than building lasting bonds. This type of person thrives on superficial interactions, often making small talk without ever delving into the more profound aspects of life. They might be the life of the party, always smiling and laughing, but when it comes to genuine support or emotional investment, they're nowhere to be found. It's essential to recognize this behavior early on. You might notice that they often avoid personal topics or quickly change the subject when discussions become too intimate. This can leave you feeling unfulfilled and questioning the authenticity of your interactions with them. Remember, true friendship requires vulnerability and a willingness to share both joys and struggles. If you find yourself constantly giving while receiving little in return from someone who is superficially friendly, it might be time to reevaluate that relationship. By being aware of this archetype, you can protect your emotional energy and focus on cultivating deeper, more meaningful connections with those who truly value you. Have you ever been in a conversation where you felt like you were talking to a wall? That's the hallmark of the inattentive listener. This type of person gives the impression they are engaged, but in reality, they are simply going through the motions. They may nod occasionally, offer a few generic responses, but their eyes are often glazed over, and their minds are miles away. This lack of genuine engagement can be frustrating and disheartening. It's as if your words are floating into a void, met with silence instead of the understanding and empathy you hoped for. Inattentive listeners often fail to pick up on the nuances of conversation. They miss vital cues, leaving you feeling unheard and undervalued. Their disinterest can erode not only your confidence, but also the foundation of the relationship. You may start to question your own worth, thinking, am I even worth listening to? So, how do you identify these inattentive listeners? Look for patterns in their behavior. Are they constantly distracted by their phones or other surroundings when you talk? Do they frequently change the subject back to themselves? These are red flags. What can you do when you find yourself in a situation with an inattentive listener? First, it's essential to set clear boundaries. If you find that your attempts to engage them are met with indifference, it may be time to reevaluate the relationship. You deserve to be heard and valued. Consider communicating your feelings directly. A simple, I feel like you're not really present when we talk, and it makes me feel unimportant, can often prompt a change in behavior. However, if they continue to disregard your needs, it's a sign to protect your energy and seek out those who genuinely value your company. In the end, remember that everyone deserves to have their voice heard. Surround yourself with those who actively listen and engage in meaningful conversations. Life is too short to waste on those who don't appreciate the gift of your words. When we think about the people we trust, we often seek those who can understand and share our feelings. However, the empathy-lacking individual stands in stark contrast to this ideal. This person is often preoccupied with their own needs and desires, exhibiting a startling inability to connect with the emotions of others. Imagine sharing a personal struggle or a moment of vulnerability with someone, only to be met with indifference or a dismissive response. This lack of empathy can create a chasm in relationships, leaving you feeling isolated and misunderstood. It's crucial to recognize the signs of such individuals early on. They may not always be overtly cruel. Instead, their self-centeredness manifests in subtle ways, like interrupting conversations to steer the focus back to themselves, or failing to ask how you feel even after you've shared something significant. In relationships where empathy is absent, emotional distance grows, leading to frustration and disappointment. You may find yourself constantly trying to bridge the gap, only to be met with walls. It's essential to establish boundaries with these individuals. Protect your emotional energy by limiting your interactions, or even considering whether this relationship is worth maintaining. Remember, genuine connections are built on mutual understanding and support, and if someone consistently fails to offer that, it may be time to reevaluate your relationship with them. Prioritize your emotional well-being by surrounding yourself with those who uplift you and demonstrate the empathy that fosters trust and respect. Let's talk about the fourth archetype, the inattentive listener. Have you ever been in a conversation where you felt like the other person was physically present, but mentally, they were a million miles away? This is the hallmark of an inattentive listener. These individuals often seem disinterested in what you have to say, frequently interrupting or checking their phones mid-conversation. It's as if your words are mere background noise to them. Their lack of engagement can be incredibly frustrating and hurtful, as it undermines the very essence of meaningful communication. When someone fails to listen, it can create an emotional distance that makes it difficult to connect on a deeper level. You might find yourself feeling unvalued and dismissed, questioning your worth in their eyes. This type of person often rationalizes their behavior, claiming they are busy or distracted by external factors. However, the reality is that true communication requires presence and attention. To mitigate the effects of an inattentive listener, it's essential to set boundaries. You may choose to limit the depth of your conversations with them, or even engage in discussions only when you feel they are genuinely available to listen. Remember, your thoughts and feelings deserve to be heard and respected. Surrounding yourself with individuals who actively listen can significantly enhance your emotional well-being and foster healthier relationships. So, when you encounter someone who seems to be perpetually distracted, it's time to evaluate the value they bring to your life. Prioritize those who genuinely engage and cherish your voice. In this way, you can cultivate a circle of trust that nurtures your growth and happiness. Let's delve into the fifth archetype, the empathy-lacking individual. This type of person often operates from a self-centered perspective, failing to recognize or appreciate the emotions and experiences of others. They may appear charming or engaging at first, but their interactions are typically superficial. These individuals can leave you feeling drained and frustrated, as they rarely offer genuine support or understanding. Imagine sharing a personal struggle, only to be met with indifference or a quick shift back to their own issues. This lack of empathy can create a significant emotional distance, making it challenging to maintain a healthy relationship. Understanding that these people often prioritize their needs over yours is essential. It's crucial to recognize the signs early on. Look for patterns of conversation that revolve solely around them, or a consistent inability to engage with your feelings. When you begin to feel that your emotional needs are being overlooked, it's time to reevaluate the relationship. Setting boundaries is vital. You might consider limiting the depth of personal conversations, or even distancing yourself from interactions that leave you feeling unvalued. Remember, it's perfectly acceptable to seek out relationships that uplift and support you rather than drain your emotional energy. Surrounding yourself with empathetic individuals who genuinely care about your well-being can significantly enhance your emotional health and overall happiness. In a world where genuine connection is invaluable, recognizing and distancing yourself from empathy-lacking individuals is a crucial step towards safeguarding your emotional landscape. The eighth archetype we need to discuss is the two-faced individual. These people can be particularly challenging to deal with because they often present themselves in a way that is charming and likable, but behind the scenes, they may be saying or doing things that completely contradict their outward persona. This duplicity can create a significant emotional toll on those around them, as it leads to feelings of confusion and betrayal. You might find that a two-faced individual is someone who is very friendly to your face, perhaps even offering compliments or support, only to turn around and speak negatively about you when you're not present. This behavior can manifest in various settings, whether it's in friendships, workplaces, or even within families. The impact of being around a two-faced individual can be profound. It can lead to a sense of distrust not just towards them, but towards others in your life, as it may cause you to question the authenticity of relationships. Recognizing the signs of a two-faced individual is crucial. Look out for inconsistencies in what they say and how they behave around different groups of people. It's essential to establish boundaries when dealing with such individuals. This might mean limiting your interactions with them or being cautious about what you share. Surrounding yourself with genuine people who are consistent in their words and actions will provide a much healthier emotional environment. Remember, it's important to protect your peace and emotional well-being. When you identify someone as a two-faced individual, take the necessary steps to distance yourself and focus on building relationships with those who are honest and supportive. Toxic individuals are those who drain your energy and negatively impact your emotional well-being. They often thrive on chaos and drama, constantly seeking attention and validation at the expense of others. Their presence can feel suffocating, as they bring a cloud of negativity wherever they go. These individuals tend to manipulate situations to their advantage, often blaming others for their problems while refusing to take responsibility for their actions. Recognizing a toxic person is crucial for maintaining your own mental health. Signs include consistent negativity, a lack of support during your difficult times, and an overall feeling of unease when you're around them. They might initiate conflicts or gossip about others, creating an uncomfortable environment. It's essential to set boundaries with such individuals. You can do this by limiting your interactions, being assertive about your needs, and prioritizing your mental space. Remember, you have the right to protect your peace. Surround yourself with positive influences and individuals who uplift and inspire you. When you distance yourself from toxic people, you open the door to healthier relationships and a more fulfilling life. It's not just about avoiding negativity. It's about choosing to nurture environments that foster your growth and happiness. Reflect on your relationships and be honest with yourself about who brings joy and who brings turmoil into your life. By doing so, you reclaim your power and create a sanctuary of positivity around you. As we navigate through the complexities of human relationships, understanding the key strategies for dealing with the 9 archetypes we've discussed is crucial. First and foremost, setting boundaries is paramount. Boundaries help protect your emotional space and ensure that you are not overly influenced by those who exhibit negative traits. For instance, if you find yourself dealing with a manipulative friend, it's essential to be clear about what you will and won't tolerate in your interactions. Establishing these limits allows you to maintain control and safeguard your well-being. Next, focus on your inner peace. This means prioritizing your mental health and emotional stability over the opinions or behaviors of others. When confronted with a constant critic, for example, remind yourself that their feedback often stems from their insecurities rather than your shortcomings. By cultivating a strong sense of self-worth, you can deflect their negativity and stay centered. Another effective strategy is to engage in self-reflection. Take time to assess your relationships periodically. Are they enriching your life or draining your energy? By regularly evaluating who you spend time with, you can make informed decisions about who to keep in your inner circle. This practice is especially helpful when dealing with the toxic individual, as it empowers you to recognize when their influence is becoming harmful. Lastly, practice assertive communication. If you encounter the two-faced individual, confront them directly about their behavior. This doesn't mean you have to be confrontational. Rather, express your feelings calmly and assertively. Let them know that their duplicity has affected your trust in them. By addressing issues head-on, you can either resolve conflicts or make the decision to distance yourself from those who do not contribute positively to your life. Remember, protecting your emotional well-being is not just about avoiding negativity. It's about actively curating a supportive and uplifting environment around you. Let me share a personal story that illustrates the importance of recognizing these negative influences in our lives. A few years ago, I had a close friend who I thought understood me deeply. We would share everything from our dreams to our fears. However, over time, I noticed a pattern. Every time I achieved something, no matter how small, they would downplay my success or shift the conversation to their own struggles. At first, I brushed it off, thinking they were just having a tough time. But the more I reflected, the more I realized that our conversations left me feeling drained and unsupported. I had become a sounding board for their complaints while my own needs were being neglected. One day, after a particularly dismissive conversation about a project I had worked hard on, I decided enough was enough. I took a step back and evaluated our friendship. I recognized this person as a constant critic, someone who thrived on negativity and had little regard for my accomplishments. By distancing myself and setting clear boundaries, I began to reclaim my self-esteem and emotional energy. This experience taught me that it's crucial to prioritize my well-being and surround myself with those who uplift and support me, rather than drain my spirit. Remember, acknowledging these types of people is the first step toward preserving your peace of mind and fostering healthier relationships. As we wrap up our exploration of the 9 types of people you should avoid trusting or respecting, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned. These archetypes, from the manipulative friend to the toxic individual, can significantly impact our emotional well-being. It's essential to recognize these patterns in our relationships and understand that not everyone deserves a place in our lives. Remember, maintaining your peace of mind is crucial. It's not just about avoiding negativity, but also about surrounding yourself with uplifting and supportive individuals. Take a moment to think about your relationships. Do you know someone who fits into one of these categories? Identifying these dynamics can be the first step toward setting healthy boundaries and protecting your mental health. You have the power to choose who you allow into your life, and it's important to prioritize those who respect and uplift you. Let's commit to being mindful of our relationships and striving for connections that nurture our growth and happiness. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you feel empowered to take action in your own life.